In this video, I'll be explaining exactly how to dial in the Subharmonic Synthesizer on your dbx processor. We'll dive into practical application, optimal limits, sound checks, and many more. You can apply this feature directly from the DSP using the physical buttons on the front panel. Simply press Sub to access all the parameters for the Subharmonic Synthesizer. Let me hook a laptop up to the DriveRack so I can walk you through the settings in more detail. Here are some key parameters that determine how and to what extent we can use this feature. As said, too much of anything is good for nothing. The top fader controls the subharmonic level. Keep it within a range up to 65%. Max you can take is 70. These two faders control the frequency range you want the synthesizer to work on. Go with whichever one sounds best to you on your system. Avoid taking both at a time if you don't want the low end to be muddy. Max 80% you can take. These meters provide a real-time visual representation of the signal's output based on the parameter settings to prevent overdriving this feature. Now that we know the how-to and the how much, let's hear it in action. Let's try to understand in Smaart software how the Subharmonic Synth differ from a normal low-end EQ boost. I'm dialing in a plus 12 decibels boost at 46 hertzes with a parametric EQ. Smaart confirms a crystal clear trace with a precise plus 12 decibels boost at 46 hertzes with 99% coherence. Let's turn off the EQ and kick in the Subharmonic Synth. As you can see, coherence dropped instantly upon engaging the Subharmonic Synthesizer. The red line in the magnitude graph represents coherence. The percentage circled in yellow shows the coherence of the data where your cursor is resting. In short, Smaart indicates that the data visible in this region is entirely new and was not present in the actual source signal. Additionally, the magnitude trace became choppy, suggesting that the newly generated frequencies are not consistently present. This means that the Subharmonic Synthesizer is generating entirely new frequencies and synchronizing with the rhythm of the beats. The previous track captured the processor's direct output. Let's do another sound check through real speakers so you can hear exactly how this feature performs in the real world. This feature fills the venue with ground-shaking, rumbling low end, making it perfect for driving the crowd wild during indoor sets. That's all for now. I hope this tutorial helps you understand the Subharmonic synthesizer.